When we step back and think about BYD, it's a company that's achieving the most explosive growth we've ever seen in the auto business in 100 years.
今天呢是比亚迪第500万辆新能源汽车下线的日子。作为全球首家达成这一里程碑的车企呢，我们邀请你一同见证这个重要的事。
While the world was eyeing Tesla's next model and Toyota's new hybrid technology, BYD engineers were quietly building something that was going to change the rules of the entire auto industry. No fanfare, no noise, but now, when the world has got its first glimpse, every technology forum, every market expert, and every auto company has their eyes set on one name: BYD. EVs that charge in 5 minutes, hybrid vehicles that leave Toyota behind, and batteries that are so safe that even fire cannot harm them. This is not a dream. It has now become a reality. Governments are buying BYD buses, cities are adapting their charging infrastructure to BYD, and other companies? They are now struggling to keep up with BYD's speed. The question is not how BYD did it. The real question is, why is the world not talking about this despite such a big revolution? Is it being suppressed? Or did it happen so fast that no one had a chance to understand? What you are going to know in this video is not just the story of a car company, it is a trailer of the times to come. This is the moment when the power balance of the EV world seems to be shaking. So before knowing the truth behind this innovation of BYD, make sure to subscribe to Decode Wire, so that every explosive news of the world of technology reaches you first. The rise of BYD. How did we get here? It didn't start where the cameras were. It started where no one was watching. While the world was watching Elon Musk's tweets, a Chinese company was quietly changing its roadmap. BYD didn't make any big announcements, didn't do any heavy marketing, but just added bricks to build a wall, on the other side of which the entire EV market is now trembling. This was a time when the world was just talking about EVs, but BYD had already built them and put them on the road. Now, the question is not what BYD is doing. The question is why everyone else is so far behind. A company that the Western media ignored for years is now on pace to overtake Tesla. And the bigger fear is that BYD is no longer just making cars. It is changing the rules of the game. The name BYD may still be unknown in the US, but the numbers show that this company is in a position to change the landscape of the EV industry. Before we know about the new invention of BYD, let us know a little about how BYD reached here. It all started in 1995. At that time, Wang Chuanfu, a chemist in Shenzhen City of China, laid the foundation of BYD. Wang was not a big businessman, but a simple man with a big dream. He took a loan of about $3.5 lakh from his cousin and started a small company with 20 employees. Initially, BYD's work was to make rechargeable batteries for mobile phones and power tools. At that time, the era of lithium-ion batteries was starting, and Wang took full advantage of this opportunity. In 1996, BYD started making lithium-ion batteries, which are used in our smartphones today. The company supplied batteries to big companies like Motorola and Nokia and earned a lot of money. In 2000, BYD got its first big success when it got a contract to supply batteries to Motorola. This was done due to the hard work of an employee named Stella Lee, who convinced Motorola officials even with her broken English. In 2002, BYD was listed on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, and after this, the company's morale increased further. In 2003, Wang took a big gamble. He bought a loss-making car company, Xi'an Qinchuan Automobile, and renamed it BYD Auto. This company was earlier owned by the state-run arms manufacturing company, Norinco. This purchase brought BYD into the world of automobiles. But the beginning was not easy. BYD's first car, codenamed 316, was so bad that dealers refused to take it. The company suffered a loss of 100 million yuan, and Wang himself broke that prototype. But Wang was not going to give up. In 2005, BYD launched its first sedan, the BYD F3. This car resembled the Toyota Corolla and was priced at just $10,000. The F3 became a hit due to its affordable price and good looks. In 2007, the 100,000th F3 car was made, and BYD's name began to shine. BYD's real game changer was its move into electric vehicles. In 2008, the company launched its first plug-in hybrid vehicle, the BYD F3DM, and in 2009 introduced the first battery electric vehicle, the BYD E6. But the real blast came in 2020, when BYD launched its Blade battery. This was a lithium iron phosphate LFP battery, which was previously rejected by the EV industry due to its low energy density. BYD made technical improvements in this battery, making it more safe and powerful. Today, even big companies like Toyota use this battery. In 2020, when the corona epidemic shook the world, BYD started making N95 masks in its factories. The company became the world's largest mask manufacturer and earned more than $1 billion from clients like SoftBank, California government. During this time, BYD also continued to supply chips from its semiconductor unit, while other auto companies were facing chip shortage. This smart move kept BYD ahead of the rest. Today, BYD competes with the world's largest EV company, Tesla. BYD has overtaken Tesla on the basis of innovation, affordable price, and quality. In 2025, BYD launched the Super E Platform 1000, with the help of which an electric car can be fully charged in just 6 minutes. This technology is so fast that it takes as much time as it takes to refuel a petrol-diesel car. Today, BYD is among the top 5 car companies in the world. It not only manufactures electric cars, but also electric buses, trucks, and high-end brands such as Denza, Fangchengbao, and Yangwang. BYD overtakes Tesla, shocks the industry. There was a time when Elon Musk mocked BYD on an open platform and said, "Have you seen their cars?" Hearing this, hardly anyone would have thought that the company which Musk did not even consider worthy of attention would one day draw lines of worry on Tesla's forehead. But time took a turn, and today, BYD has planted its flag in the EV world not only in China, but all over the world. BYD, that is, Build Your Dreams, quietly strengthened its foundation. While the world was engrossed in the discussions of Tesla's self-driving technology and Cybertruck, BYD was working on its batteries. It did not depend on outsourcing like other brands, but developed its own battery technology. And from here, its game started changing. Between 2022 and 2024, a tremendous change was seen in the EV market. BYD overtook Tesla in EV sales in China, and this wasn't just the story of one country. Global EV reports showed BYD sales growing rapidly, especially after it created a stir in the market with its Blade battery technology and affordable models. While the price of Tesla's vehicles was getting out of the reach of a common customer, BYD introduced budget-friendly, safe, and efficient vehicles. Its vehicles like Seagull, Dolphin, and Yuan Plus directly targeted the youth and middle class. The special thing was that the performance of these vehicles was no less than any expensive EV, and the price was so cheap that people were surprised. While Tesla focused on the high-end premium segment, BYD understood the pulse of the mass market. And this was the reason why BYD sold a total of 526,000 EVs in the fourth quarter of 2023, while Tesla stopped at 484,000. Not only this, BYD's manufacturing model was also different from Tesla. It makes almost every component in-house: batteries, motors, electronics, everything. This not only reduces its cost, but it is also less dependent on the supply chain. On the other hand, Tesla has faced many regulatory and trade problems in China and Europe in recent years, which affected its production. On the other hand, BYD partnered with governments, especially in the bus and public transport segment, where its hold became very strong. Another big reason for BYD's success was its hybrid strategy. Where most companies ran straight towards EV, BYD also focused on hybrid vehicles. Especially its DMI hybrid models opened up a new market in a huge country like China, where charging infrastructure is still a challenge. When Elon Musk mocked BYD, he probably thought that technology alone is enough. But BYD has shown that technology is as important as ground understanding, local market needs, and long-term vision. Today, Tesla is also changing its strategy, working on a cheaper model, Model 2, and there is a rapid pace in reducing manufacturing costs. These changes might not have happened so quickly without the rise of BYD. This story is not just a clash of two companies. It is a warning that being ahead in technology is not everything. A combination of ground strategy, localization, price, and trust is what makes a real game changer. BYD has made history in the EV market without much noise, just with hard work and vision. And now Elon Musk also knows what he once took lightly has now become his biggest concern. The Blade Battery, BYD's silent weapon. The battery that the world considers the most revolutionary today is not in Tesla's garage, but in the vehicles of a quietly growing Chinese company, BYD. And the funny thing is that you may have never heard of it. It is called the Blade Battery, a technology that has shaken up the thinking of the EV industry, whether it is about safety, price, or performance. The reason behind BYD's success was not magic, but a strategic and bold decision. They refused to participate in the race of expensive and unstable batteries. While most companies relied on NMC batteries made of expensive metals like nickel, manganese, and cobalt, BYD chose lithium iron phosphate, or LFP. This is the same chemistry that is considered cheap, durable, and stable. And when the entire industry was considering LFP a weak and old technology, then BYD breathed life into it, and then the Blade Battery was born, already achieved this goal with its engineering and structural design. The real game of Blade Battery lies in its design. While normal batteries are cylindrical or pouch-shaped, BYD has arranged very thin and long cells parallel to each other like blades. This design has made the thermal management of the battery tremendous. Simply put, these batteries do not heat up. And if you know the EV industry even a little, then you must have understood that the fear of the battery exploding or catching fire is the biggest headache. Once the battery overheats, not only the car, but also the brand name can burn. So BYD took a test that most companies do not want to take, the nail pin test. In this, an iron nail is hammered inside a charged battery to see what happens in case of a real accident. The result? Where other batteries emit smoke, catch fire, or explode, BYD's Blade Battery remained completely silent. No fire, no explosion, just cool, safe, and stable. And this is where the debate in the EV sector started. If one company can make cheap, safe, and durable batteries, what are the other companies doing? Tesla and other big companies still use NMC batteries, especially in premium vehicles, as they have a slightly higher energy density. But when it comes to safety and production cost, BYD's Blade Battery has now become a new benchmark for the industry. In today's time, when every brand calls itself the future of mobility, BYD has shown through its simplicity, scientific understanding, and down-to-earth vision that the real future is one that solves today's needs, without burning, without bursting, and without any noise. This battery from BYD is telling the world today that EV is not just a matter of fancy technology, but of people's trust. And that trust has been given a new definition by the Blade battery. Most people think that the more energy you can pack into a battery, the better. And that's true in theory, but it comes at a cost. Most premium batteries rely on expensive metals like cobalt and nickel. Cobalt is often mined in extremely inhumane conditions. Forced labor, child labor, and environmental damage are part of the reality. Nickel, on the other hand, is not only getting more expensive, but increasingly harder to come by. This is where BYD surprised everyone. Their Blade battery doesn't need these dangerous and controversial metals. They opted for iron and phosphate, which are cheap, easily available, and far safer. This gives BYD three big advantages: low cost, ease of supply, and a clean image that's both environmentally and ethically friendly. But BYD didn't limit themselves to just cheap materials. They came up with a design that could extract more range than batteries made with traditional chemistry, like LFP. LFP batteries typically have a shorter range because of their lower energy density. But the Blade battery has turned things around. BYD made structural changes that allowed more active material to be packed inside the battery, meaning more energy in less space. Now customers don't have to pay a higher price or compromise on safety or range. This is a huge technological leap, and that's why this battery is no longer just an alternative, but a direct challenge to the entire EV industry. BYD's Blade battery is now powering everything from small city cars to luxury sedans, electric buses, and even hypercars. This versatile battery is so flexible that it can be easily used in every type of vehicle. This is why BYD doesn't need to create different battery platforms for different vehicles. Adapting the same technology into different forms has become BYD's biggest strength. This kind of standardization not only reduces costs, but also simplifies production, speeds up deliveries, and makes future upgrades much easier. This is exactly what Tesla was trying to achieve with its gigafactories, but BYD has. And this is where the game gets tough for Tesla. In the last few years, Tesla has also started offering LFP batteries in some of its models, especially the Model 3 and Model Y sold in China and Europe. But the difference is that Tesla still relies on external companies like CATL for these batteries. BYD's batteries are made completely in-house, meaning it designs its battery, vehicle, and software all together. The biggest advantage of this is that BYD has complete control over everything that determines the price, performance, and energy efficiency of the vehicle. As a brand, this makes it not just an EV maker, but a complete technology powerhouse. And perhaps this is why it is giving real competition to Tesla today. When a company has full control of the technology, battery, software, and hardware, the fine-tuning and performance that results is something that most other companies can only dream of. That's exactly what BYD is doing. Their battery and vehicle are as in tune with each other as body and soul. The charging process is optimized at the microscopic level, power output is increased without harming battery life, and the software constantly communicates with the chemical changes happening inside the battery. It's no longer just a battery. It's a well-designed energy system that controls every part of the car. And in an industry where a few seconds of acceleration or a few minutes of charging can change the market, these details really do matter. Now, coming to battery life, whereas regular EV batteries start losing their shine after 1,000 charging cycles, BYD's Blade battery retains more than 80% capacity even after more than 3,000 full charge cycles. This simply means the vehicle will last longer. There will be no need to replace the battery frequently, and the maintenance will also be less. For governments that are electrifying public transport or companies that are buying EV fleets, this deal is like gold. Because now, they neither have to worry about the battery catching fire, nor about it breaking down quickly. At the same time, the common consumer also no longer has to worry about range drop or expensive replacement. The Blade battery eliminates all the pain points that have been the biggest barriers to EV adoption so far: charging time, battery life, and price. And when these three pain points are eliminated, the adoption of electric vehicles is no longer dependent on government incentives or subsidies. They become the first choice of the people. With BYD, you don't just buy a car. You buy an entire battery ecosystem. One that doesn't rely on conflict metals, doesn't rely on a third-party supplier, and doesn't bet on half-baked technology. While other companies are still chasing the next big innovation, BYD has already built a proven, scalable, and sustainable platform and is rapidly scaling it globally. The question now is, where do the other companies stand? Toyota has now started looking at LFP batteries in some models. General Motors is still mulling over the Ultium platform based on NMC technology. Ford is conducting trials but has no clear plan yet. And as for Tesla, widely acknowledged as the leader in the EV industry, it is still years behind BYD in this regard. Super hybrids and the death of traditional engines. What if the smartest car of tomorrow is neither all electric nor all petrol? What if the best path lies somewhere in between? That's the question BYD is asking, and the answer has taken the auto industry by storm. While brands like Tesla are going all in on EVs and legacy companies are still holding on to petrol engines, BYD has taken a third path, the Super DM system. DM stands for dual mode. The name might sound hybrid, but it's not like the usual hybrids. It's a system that blends petrol and electric like a perfect team and changes the very idea of how a hybrid vehicle should run. Most hybrid vehicles still rely heavily on the engine, with the battery playing a supporting role. But BYD has flipped the script. Their system prioritizes electric and uses petrol only when absolutely necessary. It's not just a technological feature, it's a change in thinking. Now, when it comes to performance, this is no ordinary hybrid. BYD's technology delivers 43.04% thermal efficiency, meaning a large portion of the energy extracted from petrol actually reaches the wheels. For comparison, most cars have a figure below 35%. Toyota, the master of hybrids, barely manages to top 40%. Thermal efficiency simply means more distance with less petrol. And BYD's Song Plus DMI SUV is a great example of this. It uses just under 6 liters of petrol per 100 kilometers, which is extremely economical for an SUV. And it's not just about mileage, the acceleration and driving feel are also great. Because the car runs on battery first, the responsiveness is quick and power is immediate. But the real game changer is this. This car is made for people who don't want to choose between an EV and petrol. For those who don't have a charging point at home, or who live in areas where EV infrastructure is still weak, hybrid is not a solution, but a strength. This new thinking is now worrying the world's biggest companies. Toyota, which ruled the market for 2 decades in hybrid vehicles ranging from the Prius to all others, is now lagging behind BYD's DMI series. And it's not just one model, it's an entire platform that's constantly improving, becoming cheaper and more sustainable. BYD is showing that with smart software, better battery integration, and its own technology, it can outcompete any major company. While other companies are still undecided whether to fully embrace EVs or not, BYD has already found the perfect middle path. And that path is now becoming the future of the automobile industry. What BYD is doing today has become a strategic challenge for other companies, not just a technical one. Its biggest strength is the control of the entire system. Everything from the battery to the software, engine design to the drivetrain is made in-house. This means that every part of the car is not just connected to each other, but works as a single thought. When you are driving on city roads, the car is silently in full electric mode. But as soon as you come on the highway, the petrol engine automatically activates, exactly at the power spot where its output is the best. You never even realize that the system has changed, but the bill at the petrol pump is clearly less. That's why BYD's Super DM system has become a big headache for both EV companies and traditional vehicle manufacturers. Companies like Tesla have been saying for years that hybrid technology is now outdated, and petrol engines have no future. But BYD has shown what smarts mean by reinventing this old technology. Elon Musk has always dismissed hybrids as a middle way, as if they were just a way to pass the time until the world went EV. But he forgot one thing: the world doesn't change at once. While some countries are experiencing an EV boom, others are still struggling with infrastructure. And BYD is understanding this market reality and is bringing its hybrid vehicles to places where people love electric, but don't want to be completely dependent on it. People in South America, Southeast Asia, remote parts of Europe, and even rural parts of the US are looking for vehicles that offer an electric experience without the stress of charging. BYD's DMI and DMP series are the perfect answer to these needs. And it's not just hobby buyers. Taxi companies, delivery services, government fleets, BYD's hybrid platform has become a goldmine for all of them. Because these cars run on batteries in the city and petrol over long distances. Today, taxi fleets in many big cities in China have been completely replaced by BYD's plug-in hybrids. The reason is also clear: no huge expenses, no expensive charging infrastructure. And perhaps most importantly, BYD does not consider hybrids to be a cheap, basic option. These vehicles have the same technology, the same style, and the same performance as its EV range. That is, the customer does not feel that he has made any compromise. On the contrary, he feels that he has got the best of both worlds. Today, when other companies are fighting whether to bet completely on EV or hold on to ICE, internal combustion engine, a little longer, BYD stands in the fray, with solutions, not promises, and that is what makes it dangerous. The story of the modern car is now changing. The petrol engine is no longer the hero of the story. It is now playing a side role, appearing only when needed. And BYD's Super DM system has become the director of this new movie. This story is not about eliminating petrol, it's about making it redundant. The more smart and responsive this hybrid technology becomes, the more old engines will seem outdated. And this fear is what is keeping traditional auto companies awake. Global takeover. Inside BYD's master plan, if a company's real goal was never just to win the technology race, but to conquer the global market, every step looks different. That's what BYD is doing. While other companies are busy with numbers like range, battery, and acceleration, BYD is quietly building a whole system, a strategy that's not just about selling cars, but about controlling country policies, city infrastructure, and the entire supply chain. BYD hasn't always been focused on winning technology. Its real focus is the game of where and how. That's why the company has set a target of exporting 800,000 units by 2025. And note, this is just international sales, not domestic. Such a big plan is unlikely for a brand that it's paving its own path, whether it's the streets of Los Angeles or the Brazilian Ministry of Industry. It's not just a car company, it's a global player, weaving a web of policies, public transportation, and local manufacturing. If you find this information interesting and useful, then do subscribe to the channel. We bring you such in-depth automobile and technology stories every day. See you again in the next video. Till then, thanks and stay connected.